Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. No movies to talk about this week because I took a week off from going to the movies, which is good because the rest of December is going to be a little bit busy with movies and other things. But I did want to start with a quick bitch about Amazon. I got all excited because I thought I'd finished all my Christmas shopping super early, and I never do that. And it was awesome, and then Amazon screwed the pooch. I wanted to get my nieces the DC Superhero Girls dolls for Christmas, and some of the Amazon sellers didn't have them in stock, but they were gonna in time for Christmas, we promise, and I'm like, but then there was one seller that was like, hey, I'll sell you this 2-pack of Wonder Woman and Batgirl. And I was like, score. Unfortunately, as a bonus, they were like, and you can have free 1-day shipping. And I'm like, awesome. Not that it's that much of a rush, but sure. And then I ordered it like 10 o'clock in the morning. It shipped by the afternoon. 7:30 at night, I get a notification on my phone, my package has been delivered. I was like, same day delivery. What? But then I opened the box, and it turns out that I had ordered the kind that were like the Barbie dolls with the cloth costumes. And unfortunately, they shipped me the kind with the all-plastic costumes, and I'm like, no, I wanted the nicer ones. These cost so much money, why aren't they the nicer ones? So that was super lame. And what's annoying is that I discovered yesterday, after I had already ordered them, I went to the discount store in my neighborhood in Brooklyn to get some wrapping paper and decorations and such, and I discovered in their toy section they had all the superhero dolls, and with the nice cloth costumes, for literally half of what that Amazon seller was charging. So, needless to say, those cheapy ones are going, the expensive but cheap ones are going back to Amazon, and I went to the discount store and I bought twice as many dolls, because instead of just buying 2 dolls, they were half the price. I bought twice as many dolls. Now they have 4 dolls. Awesome Christmas. So, yay. I hope they like that. But like, what the hell, Amazon? Like, if you have a product as described, sell that product. Don't cheap out and give me the crap. As for gaming, I broke one of my main rules, but for a good reason, I think. As you know, I have not bought Pokemon yet. In fact, I put Pokemon on my Christmas list finally, because I'm like, F it. Because I haven't finished Okami, because Okami is the game that doesn't end. So, I didn't want to get Pokemon until I finished Okami. However, there was a game that released this Friday that I didn't wait for, and I just splurged and bought. And no, I'm not talking about Smash, because if you have watched this podcast before, you know I don't like Smash. In fact, I had that whole anniversary, I think it was episode 300, my anniversary episode, where I had some friends over, and they tried to teach me how to play Smash, and try to show me how awesome it is, and I was still unimpressed. But on the same day that Smash released, for some reason, Namco Bandai decided, we're going to release Katamari Damacy Reroll for the Nintendo Switch. It was an odd choice, but, you know, it's counter-programming, I guess, because I wanted it, so whatever. But I justified it because, A, it's more of a puzzle game, it's not a story game, so it's not like a story game where I'm going to get all involved in it and then I'm not going to go back to Okami for a really long time, and at that point I'll have forgotten about it and then I'll never go back. This is just like a puzzle game that you play, you know, a couple of rounds of Katamari and then you just go back. And so I will continue to finish Okami. And the other reason why I bought it is because I wanted to support the counter-programming of a game opposite of Smash. So I wanted to support it. Annoyingly, It appeared that it was a digital-only release. Also, it was $30, which I'm like, that's a little much. Like, Okami being 20 bucks, I was like, score, sold. I will play that for $20. This remaster is $30, which is like, but it is my favorite game in the series. I mean, I've played the others, but this is the original, so this is the gameplay I loved, and the music I loved, and the weirdness I loved, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. And I was all annoyed that I couldn't get my Best Buy Gamers Club discount, and I was going to have to buy it digitally. But then I found out that there is a physical copy, but it's a GameStop exclusive, and I'm like, ugh, like what the hell? So I was all planning on getting it digitally, but then I realized, oh, you know what though? I have a couple of games that I could trade in, and maybe knock some money off of the 30 bucks. Amusingly, I assumed, GameStop being GameStop, that I was going to trade in these games and I was going to get like $5 a piece, and I'd still have to pay a lot for the game anyway. But the first game I traded in was Dragon Quest Builders, which, as you will recall from previous episodes, when I played the demo and loved it, and then got the game and was slightly not as in love with it anymore, it just became frustrating and not fun anymore, and I just decided, never mind. And it was just sitting there collecting dust, and I said, you know what, let me trade that in, see what I can get for it. I think I got like 16 or 17 bucks for it, which I was surprised that it was that much. But then the other game that I traded in was Splatoon 2, which, again, like, I loved the first one. I played the hell out of it on the Wii U. This one, I played it for a little while and then kind of stopped, and I never went back to it. And it was also just collecting dust, and I thought, it's just sitting there, I don't see myself playing it again, why not trade it in and get Katamari, which I will play and enjoy and maybe play more of, and it'll be worth it. So I traded that in. That actually netted me like $33 and change. So by itself, just giving them back Splatoon 2, I got Katamari for free. But between the two games, I got my physical copy of Katamari Damacy Reroll, and then I left with a gift card with 20 bucks on it. I'll use that at some point. For something. Who knows what? So yay, free Katamari. And it's awesome. I did play a little bit of it. I am going back to Okami, I promise. But I wanted to play Katamari, because I haven't played it in years. And it's funny because it's exactly the same game. It just brings me right back. Obviously the graphics are a little better, but interestingly, I looked at a YouTube video that compared the graphics from the demo with graphics from the PS2 original, and I swear they tampered with it, because the original cutscene is like dark and muddy, and I'm like, no, this game was bright and colorful and crazy. And, like, the side-by-side comparison, I'm like, what? It was never that dark and muddy. But it is obviously in widescreen instead of being square now. And the graphics are, like, super bright and colorful. They didn't, like, redo anything. They just sort of made everything bright and crisp and clean and whatever. But all the textures and everything, it's all the same. Like, nothing's, like, higher polygon models or anything. Everything just looks the same, but it's funny because I feel like it looks like I remember the game looking. And if that video is any indication, it did not look this good back then. But in my mind, it looked this good. So basically, because they didn't try to fix anything, they basically just made Katamari the way I remember it. But yeah, people are complaining about the gameplay because it's still awkward controls and whatever, but that's the game, and I want it to be the authentic experience as I remember it, so I'm super fine with it, and it's super awesome. I wish it wasn't $30, it should have only been 20, but I'll support it, because it's awesome, and you all enjoy your Smash, and I'm just going to go roll up some stuff. In addition, also, I have been playing No Man's Sky, at least up until the end of the 2-week community event, where I just confirmed that, in fact, they did We did scan enough altogether to fill the 3 tiers and unlock everything. But I haven't gotten my Korvax helmet because it looks cool, but I haven't gotten it yet because I wanted to go through a black hole. And I had the coordinates, and I hadn't gone through a black hole in ages, and I wanted to get a little closer to the center of the universe, and off I went. And I've also been playing Red Dead 2, which is still kind of fun. I enjoy that I've seen people online and like on Twitter and online articles where they're basically saying the same things that I've been saying about Red Dead 2, which is the fact that like everything is so realistic and it doesn't really make the game any more fun. It kind of ruins the fun because you have to monitor so many things and do so many things and it's just too much, and then it kind of isn't fun anymore. And then also the other problem where you know, the bounty system makes you try to be slightly good, but then the story missions make you do horrible things. So that's sort of irritating. But yeah, I've been doing some side missions, and I like that I'm now in Rhodes, where it's a lovely, lovely town, and Dutch has asked us not to use guns or cause trouble in town, so I'm like, that's good. That's very good. Except for the fact that I had to do a mission where I had to get into a fist fight in this mission, and I was like, I hope this doesn't get me in trouble, because I'm not supposed to be violent in town, but it's part of a mission, so I kind of have no choice. There's no way around it. And I also had a very amusing moment where I was riding through the countryside, and there were these guys pounding on a little safe with a sledgehammer, and they were like, back off, go, you know, go on your way. And I was like, okay, whatever, and I continued riding, and then I thought, there's only 2 of them, come on. So I turned around and I went back, and they were like, hey, and they like pulled out their guns, and I just shot them both dead immediately. And I looted them, and then I threw a stick of dynamite at the safe, it blew open, and I think I got like about like 40 or 50 bucks. There were some billfolds in the safe, and I'm like, that was fun. I think just sort of a little random thing. But there was another time in the same play session where I was heading for a bridge, and on the other side of the bridge was like a bunch of horses and dudes and a big wagon, and from across the bridge they were like, be on your way, turn around, don't get involved. And I was like, you know what, that's a lot of you. I'm gonna go over here and bypass this bridge completely to get where I gotta go, because that's a lot, and I didn't feel like dealing with that. But 2 guys in a safe, I'm like, 2 guys I can take. A whole armada, by myself, not so much. But sometimes I just love riding through the countryside. It's just so beautiful, and I just love to just ride along and see the sights. Except for, like I say, sometimes you get attacked, and these guys came out from behind a rock, and they're like, don't move, and I was just like, I'm gonna kill you. And then these other guys got involved, but I took them all out, and I was very proud of myself. And I managed to loot the bodies before anyone else came along and saw me and got me in trouble. So, that's it for this week. Come back next week, and maybe I'll have made some more progress in Okami. We shall see. Or maybe I'll just have played more Katamari. Who knows? Come back next week and find out. Bye!